Hi, everybody. It is Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, bringing you another episode of the Hop Nerd live stream. We've been doing this thing quite a bunch lately, and I'm just popping in to say hi. Howdy, hello, how are you doing today? I'm doing excellent. I hope you are doing fine wherever you find yourself, whatever part of the woods you find yourself in. I hope you are doing absolutely excellent. I can't complain. I keep telling you I can't complain. Things are still going pretty good. I know we've got some challenging days ahead of us. At least that's a lot of what the news is saying. We've got a lot of maybe not so great stuff getting ready to go down. Right? They keep saying the worst days are ahead of us, and I can pretty much believe that. Right? I think we all can. We know things are kind of getting wackier out there. But again, at the moment, I can't really say a lot negative. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I can't really complain. How are you doing? Make sure you shoot us a text, 480-877-0155, or give us a call at 480-712-5219. Let us know what it looks like out there for you. Let us know what's going on with you. Again, we'll have any conversation you want to have. We'll keep this thing going for as long as I feel like keeping it going, I guess. In the meantime, please make sure you head over to the website, www.thehopnerd.com. Follow along on all things social media at The Hop Nerd, except for Twitter because it is super duper special. It is The Hop Nerd 1. Somebody took the Hop Nerd. Some beer person. Who cares? Twitter. Anyways, right? Send me an email, sam@thehopnerd.com or thehopnerd@gmail.com. If you want to tune in over on the website and watch this stuff, you can. You just have to go to thehopnerd.tv. Pretty cool, right? You can leave your comments, all that stuff. You can dive in there. I'm watching the comments. I'm watching the DMs. I'm watching the feed. Let me know what you got. Give us a call. We'll try that out. Shoot us a text. That's a super easy way to get hold of us, too. And we'll continue to have this conversation. I'm always interested in what's going on in your neck of the woods. Things are going pretty good for us. Look, you can look at us right here. We're in this beautiful, amazing, luxurious Hop Nerd studio. You like this new angle? I moved the camera back just a little bit so you can get some of this. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I like it. I can't complain. I've got everything right here, well within reach. Right? What do you think about the new kind of lights we got going on here? This is kind of neat. You can't see the ones kind of over on this wall now, and some stuff going on over here, but it's kind of cool. I'm looking really forward to actually getting some folks in here and having some sit-down conversations face-to-face. I'm really looking forward to that. I know you are, too. I'm really excited for that. I literally have a couch right here. I've got the couch set up. I've moved my lights overhead, so that's kind of cool. I've got a couch set up here. I'm putting some lights overhead of that. I'm setting up some mics over here on the couch, too, and around the table. The whole point is I can cram a whole bunch of people in here at some point. And that's going to be a lot of fun. It can be me and you. It can be me and you plus somebody that calls in, somebody that texts in. It can be me and you plus somebody that calls in, plus somebody that's here, plus somebody that's there, plus somebody that's here, plus somebody that's over there on the couch, and plus somebody that's over there on the couch if we want to. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. Unfortunately, we can't really do that right now. It probably wouldn't be good for our health right now, I don't think, if we went ahead and tried that. Plus, I don't think it would be very good for us right now either because, as you know, I am still waiting on them to fix the air conditioning, right? You can see this, look. You can see that. I complain about it every single day. I still come here and hang out because it's awesome. It's still kind of cool here in Arizona, and the building that we're in, it's pretty awesome. I'd shared this before, but it's a really old, repurposed armory that was built in the 50s. It's got these really cool, nice windows. They all open up. You can open up the door. You can get a nice breeze going through here. And then if I'm on the air or trying to record something, it sounds god-awful, obviously, right? The road's right over there. The window's shut. You don't hear much of that. I've got some neighbors, and they don't want to hear me screaming, so I keep the door shut, right? So I can't take advantage of the beautiful breeze that I can get, the nice draft that I can get through this space when we're having this conversation. So, and I definitely can't do that when we're podcasting. I shared with you yesterday, I'd spent some time doing some interviews for the podcast prior to us getting online here. And so I'd sit in this chair for like 2 hours. The conversation went for 2 hours because it was an amazing interview, and I can't wait for you to hear it. I'll share it with you. It's T.A. Laser, Tabitha Laser. I've got a copy of her book here, and we had an awesome conversation. I think we became best friends yesterday. It was kind of fun. So look for that coming out on the podcast in the next little bit. It'll be soon. I've got to sit down and work on the audio here, maybe tonight. I'll see what I feel like when we get done here and see what happens. But you'll see it coming out very, 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 very soon. But that, I ramble. I'm going to tell you every little detail in the story. But I basically sit here for like 2 hours for that. And then another hour and a half with you, with the windows shut, the lights on, everything going, the door shut, and by the time I left, I'm pretty sure I was dehydrated. Like, you've seen the way I drink coffee, right? So I'm drinking water today. Just it's not that I haven't had my coffee. I've had my like 13 cups of coffee today. It's just that I felt like this was probably more needed tonight than anything else. Again, how are things going for you? I'm going back into isolation next week, so I'm getting prepared for that. I'm always interested in what you're watching right now because I'm always looking for something good. I'm still watching I finished it, and then I've been going back and watching a lot of the podcast interviews with some of these folks, but Tiger King, so I've been doing a lot of that, right? I did that. I binge watched that. I've shared with you that I'm the last one to the party. I finally broke down my coolness and started watching Game of Thrones. So I've been binge watching Game of Thrones. In addition to that, I started on, or I haven't started. I'm getting ready to start on whatever this was. I'll share it with you. It looks really good. I took a screenshot of it just today. It's number 5 in the U.S., How to Fix a Drug Scandal. So that one looks super good. These Netflix documentaries have been on point. They are fire, Hop Nerd fan. They are awesome. I don't think we have to argue about that. They are pretty amazing. I'm really enjoying a lot of these documentaries. Something that I will share that I thought was really cool today, what I've done before I actually came over here to hang out with you, is I actually sat down and started watching some of the interviews with some of the cast of Tiger King on YouTube, and some of these interviews with like folks like David Spade and a couple other folks. Theo Vaughn had a couple of folks on. It's just really cool 15, 20-minute long conversations, except for the Theo Vaughn one. That one was with Dr. Antle, I think. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you have no clue what I'm talking about. You should totally go watch it. But that one went for about an hour and something. But I've been totally watching those too. So that's been really eye-opening to kind of hear a lot of the stories that was left out of the actual documentary. So if you're a nerd for that, if you're enjoying that show, that might be something you want to go check out as well. So text me what you're watching, 480-877-0155. I'd love to hear what you're watching because I'm preparing to go back into the locked-in dungeon tomorrow, and I'm going to stay there all the way through the week, other than my trips here to hang out with you. This is the most exciting part of my day. It is. It's the most exciting part of my day. I get to come and I get to hang out with you. That and any of the interviews that I do. That's the one nice part about having the studio that's kind of away from the house. I had to do it for sanity's sake, number one. Number two, I had to do it not only for my sanity, but the sanity of my significant other. He was to the point of killing me because I was slowly taking over more and more and more of the house with my studio space. So fortunately, we have a little bit of space here that we converted over into the Hop Nerd Studios. And the nice thing about that is it gets me out of the house, on these kind of days where I am in isolation. And I'm still in isolation, don't get me wrong. I literally go down the steps, into the car, back out of the garage, straight to here, through the back door and into the studio. So my studio is kind of right it's in a really good spot where we're at. And I'm straight in here and then straight back home. So no stops, nothing like that in between, not coming into contact with anyone, and no one's coming into contact with me. But I shared with you over the last week, I've been going out and actually working and supporting some stuff throughout my day job, right? Working on some really just precautionary measures and prepping for some of the impact to hit the Southwest. We think it's still coming, right? So I've got to be out and do some work, which has been nice. But I'm going back into isolation, and I need your help. I need you to tell me what to watch. I need you to tell me where I should invest my Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Time, all that stuff. I need to know where to invest my time, because there's a lot of good stuff out there, but I feel like I've watched most of it. So pretty please, I'm always looking for something cool to watch. So please point me in the right direction. I'm going to rant here a little bit because what I've really been looking for, what I've really, really, really been looking for is, and my 90s kids out there, you're going to be right here with me. I'm looking for Pete and Pete. I can't find Pete and Pete. You can buy this little Pete and Pete shorts thing, right? This little shorts mini episode thing, but you just can't find the real deal seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Pete and Pete, and it makes me more and more depressed as I continue to look. I think you can get it on DVD. It's not even Prime. It's scrolled away. It's probably from some individual seller somewhere. But you can randomly find the DVDs, and they're usually like $80 per season. So why in the hell do we get every other piece of crap on Amazon Prime, but we can't get freaking Pete and Pete? That was my childhood. Pete and Pete. I want my freaking Pete and Pete. So whatever we got to do. I don't know. We start a petition or something. Is that how that works? But I'm looking for Pete and Pete. I can't find it. So I've resorted to watching some of the bootlegged episodes that randomly pop up on YouTube. You know, they're here from time to time. You can randomly catch them on these bootleg episodes that people will upload. So that's okay. That's working for me right now. But I really want the ability to sit down and watch it all the way through. I really want to be able to do that. Unfortunately, I have not been able to do that. So if anybody out there has a lead on some Pete and Pete, I need a fix. I haven't had my fix since I was a kid, right? I grew up on all those shows, right? Most of those folks in my age range, you know, you had the Pete and Pete, you had the Are You Afraid of the Dark? You had all that kind of stuff. We were kind of in that middle ground between when Nickelodeon was super cool and when it all started to go down the drain. We were kind of right there, right? We had Pete and Pete, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Rocko's Modern Life, all that kind of cool stuff right before it kind of went and took a dive, right? We still had all the cool stuff, at least for a little while. And now you can't find that stuff. So I'm super upset by that. I would really, really, really like to find it. So I know I'm going on and on and on, but I want me some freaking Pete and Pete. So somebody help me find me some freaking Pete and Pete. That's what I'm asking for. I need my fix. What's going on in your world? Again, things are going pretty good for me. Phoenix is pretty interesting. Things are going great. I never set this thing up. I always have to give you this wacky, squirrely page, right? Because what fun would it be if I was actually prepared? That would not be fun at all, would it? You wouldn't get to watch me stumble through these things. So there's the beautiful downtown Phoenix, Arizona. You can see things are pretty dead. It looks like they've got the street pretty much totally shut down right there. Now's a really good time to do some road work. I bet there's nobody on the roads in Phoenix, or very little folks at least. I know I give you the random Phoenix traffic report, but again, I think it's a great indicator that things are going pretty good with this whole stay-at-home thing here in Phoenix. You can look at the traffic maps. Again, I rant about this, and really I guess I rant and rave because they're never green this time of the day. It's 4:20. Oh, 4:20. It's 4:20 in the afternoon in the greater Phoenix area, and there is not a real traffic jam in sight. What are we going to do? That is crazy stuff right there, huh? Pretty crazy to me. Look at that. This is bumper-to-bumper roads normally this time of the day. To put that into context, things are looking pretty wide open. Look at that. I-10 eastbound. Look at that. Nothing on the road. Absolutely, I was going to say ridiculous, but good. I think that's probably really, really, really good that folks are starting to observe some of this stay-at-home stuff, especially since we're hearing that things are going to get worse. We really need to buckle down and start to understand that we really need to chill out and stay home. That's really the best thing that we can do right now. Let's take a look at the wonderful and the wild and the beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona. Let's go live here and see what's going on up in that part of the woods. No pigeon cam today. No pigeons. The past couple days we've had the opportunity to watch pigeon fights, and that's been a blast. But we've no pigeons today, so we can't wager bets on the pigeons fighting. But again, Flagstaff. Beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona. It's pretty weird because it looks like there's more traffic in Flagstaff than there actually is in Phoenix right now. So for all my Flagstaff friends, Northern Arizona friends, howdy, hi, hello. I hope you're doing good up there. I know that you are looking at those beautiful San Francisco peaks, but I hope you have everything you need. I hope things are going well for you up there in that area. Again, how are things going for you? feel free, shoot us a text, 480-877-0155. I always enjoy having this conversation. You can give us a call also, 480-712-5219. We'll try out this handy-dandy phone number and see how it works out. We'll have a conversation. We'll have fun. We'll shoot the breeze. We'll talk about all things safety, life, and everything else in between. How is things in quarantine going for you? Again, thank you for allowing me to continue to be your tour guide to the apocalypse. We've been doing this thing every single day. One of these days, I'm actually going to sit down and count up the amount of days that we have been live streaming regularly. We've been doing this every single day for 10 plus days. I know it's 10 plus. I just don't know how much plus, I guess. We've been doing this for quite a while. Let's dive in. Let's take a look, see what's going on over in the news. Maybe we can see what's going on. I don't know. Let's see. The world just hit 1 million confirmed coronavirus infections. That's pretty big news there. What else? Brother and sister dog separated at shelter freak out at a chance reunion. So if you want to warm the cockles of your heart, if you're in need of some pick-me-up, stuff like that's pretty good. You want to go browse through those Facebook tearjerker videos. Now's a very good time. I've caught myself doing that the other day. You are lying. You are an absolute liar if you watch these emo Facebook videos and say that you don't ball up with tears. You are a liar. I don't care how tough of a person you are. When you watch the videos of the folks getting get the color blindness glasses and they first see colors and then they just break down, you're lying if you say you don't cry. You're a liar. I'll just say it. You're an absolute liar if you say you don't cry. I will cry like a little girl that someone stole her Barbie every single time. Again, give us a call, 480-712-5219. We're going to continue to roll through the news. We'll jump into some on this day in history, maybe even take a look at some famous birthdays. Let's continue on. Let's see what we've got happening over here in the la la land that is the news. It's wild, right? So much, you really have to try to pick apart what's sensationalized and what's not, even more so in the current times. It's kind of ridiculous. We mentioned the 1 million mark. We've officially hit the 1 million mark, doubling in less than a week of confirmed coronavirus cases. Some Americans could wait 20 weeks to receive their stimulus check, the IRS tells House Democrats. I'd seen an article earlier where they were talking about those were starting to be released, so just something to be keep your eye on, I guess. Holland America ships caught in COVID-19 pandemic dock in Florida. They're working on their disembarkation, so we'll see how that goes. Last I had read on that article, they were going to allow them to disembark in Florida. I'm sure they have some pretty extreme process there. So we'll see how that goes. New York only has enough ventilators for 6 more days, says Governor Cuomo. Let's dive into that one just a little bit. Number of cases in the state rises to 92,381 with 2,373 deaths. Hospitals seeing 350 patients needing breathing help at night. New York has 92,381 cases of coronavirus, Governor Andrew Cuomo said at his daily briefing, while warning that the state only has enough ventilators in its stockpile for 6 more days. Cuomo said that he did not think the federal government is in a position to provide ventilators across the U.S. to the extent that they are going to be needed in the coming days and weeks. As coronavirus continues to rise, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio asked New Yorkers to wear a homemade face covering when they go outside to prevent the spread of the virus. Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's cool to see a lot of the innovation that's happening with the ventilators. I've seen some stuff that I know some of the stuff around Virgin America, some of the really cool little super simple ventilators contraptions that they were building, basically working off of a BVM, like a bag valve mask, right? You know, with the face piece, and they basically set that up on a machine that rotated and basically compressed that at a very specific depth and rhythm. I thought that was pretty cool to see that happening. I think it's cool to see like Tesla's offering to step up. I know Ford's stepping up. There's a lot of other folks that are stepping up to build ventilators. So hopefully we can get those things moving to areas like that much sooner than later. I don't know about you, but it really kind of sort of pisses me off quite a bit. To be honest, right? I think that's really where we have to get with this stuff, because it's more around the fact that how the heck can we not have enough ventilators? I will tell you why. It's because we valued making our organizations lean and efficient over allowing them to have the capacity or margin. I just like to call it margin, allowing them to have some margin to actually respond to stuff that's outside of our imagination. We value lean cost savings over preparedness. We just do, and that's every industry. That's especially medicine, right? Especially medicine. We love getting stuff super duper lean and efficiency and all of that kind of stuff, but at what cost? And I think that's the question that we're really going to have to ask ourselves as we begin to move out of this thing, is at what cost? I think we're seeing the cost right now. I think we're seeing that hospitals are completely right on the razor's edge of having just what they need. Barely enough for normal operations. Because we've leaned stuff out, we've metricized that leanness, and we make sure that we stay super duper lean, and it's incentivized to be super lean, and that's what happens. We have the black swan event, the not so great thing that occurs, that the pandemic that's outside of our imagination. We go, oh shit, can you believe it? We don't have enough stuff. Who would have ever guessed we wouldn't have enough stuff? We barely have enough stuff for normal operations. Nothing bad ever happens in the real world. That's how we do this. That's seriously how most organizations do this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You see it every single day. You probably see it at your organization every single day. We have exactly, barely enough to do what we need to do within the next 8 hours. And then something not so great happens, and our supply chains are overloaded, and everything breaks down, and we don't have what we need. And that's exactly the situation that we find ourselves in. So where do we go next? I just hope we actually learn something from it. That's all I can really say. I just hope we actually learn something from this entire mess. Will we? I don't know. If you're in that position in your organization to where you get to promote learning, you should be pointing people towards it pretty rapidly as we start to grow out of this thing, or claw our way out of this thing. I think it's pretty interesting to see where we're at. I think it's going to be more interesting to see if we learn something from it. And fingers crossed, right? If you're a praying person, pray, right? We need to hope and pray and do whatever we can to help push ourselves or our organizations in the direction of learning. Plain and simple, we have to learn. We have to learn stuff. If we don't learn from this one, I don't think we ever will, right? Then that's the scarier part to me. So let's dive back into the news. I'll get off my little rant before we get in too much trouble here. Where was I at? Here's me. This is post rant. Let me breathe and calm down just a second after I get all my pissed offedness. I guess that's how we'll call that, out of the way. WHO is concerned. That's WHO, the World Health Organization, is concerned about the rapid escalation of coronavirus. I think we're starting to see that. How Trump blames hospitals and others on the front line for COVID-19 failures. I haven't seen too much of that, so I don't know if we'll dive too deep into that article. Again, just browsing through some pretty, if I see something interesting, we'll dive into it. Here's a good one. SpaceX stops all employees from using Zoom. So there was a big data breach with Zoom. For those of you that don't know that, I use Zoom. Do you use Zoom? I think we all kind of use Zoom. I started using Zoom as I started to record distance podcasts. I started really using Zoom quite a bit. And then I was fortunately, I already had it and was using it before everything kind of happened. And then more recently, we see that Zoom, whether you linked it to Facebook or not, or some other things, they were basically exchanging information with Facebook, some other not so great stuff without really making you aware. I'm sure in the 3,000 page legal document that everyone clicks that you sign your life away anytime you download any type of software, then a license agreement. I'm sure it said something about how they were going to sell and barter your information, but apparently it wasn't quite obvious enough. With millions of people self-isolating around the world, video chat services have become very popular. But do they pose a risk to privacy and security? SpaceX thinks so, as it just banned the use of Zoom by all employees. On March 28th, SpaceX sent out an email to all of its 6,000 plus employees telling them that access to the Zoom video chat service had been disabled. The email said, "We understand that that many of us are using this tool for conferences and meeting support. Please use email, text, phone as alternative means for communication." They stated the reason for disabling access to this service: significant privacy and security concerns. Very kind of at Zoom, right? Zoom has proved to be one of the most popular video chat services. I think we've all been using it. As far back as July last year, Zoom was being used by hackers to spy on Mac users via their webcam. More recently, Zoom bombing has become rife, with individuals not invited or welcome on Zoom calls joining, and in some cases sharing inappropriate content. That would spice up a meeting just a little bit, huh? I don't know if that'd be such a bad thing. You imagine being in that really super boring, whatever, right? You're looking at page after page after page of shared screen slides, and then all of a sudden you get something very exciting that pops up on the screen. I don't know if that'd necessarily be a bad thing. That might wake Karen up from her slumber while she's snoozing in the Zoom meeting. I think that would be kind of hilarious. I don't know. I think it sounds cool. Steve Fuller, wow, good info, Sam. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for joining in. Glad that you're here with us. Thanks for hanging out. Zoom, surprise. Yeah, Zoom is having some issues. I'm sure they'll respond pretty rapidly to it, especially with the massive uptick in their use. They don't want to lose that. We hope that they'll respond pretty quickly and hard to that, at least, right? We hope. So we'll see. We'll see where things go with that. Businesses or individuals concerned about continuing to use Zoom do have quite a few alternatives. And we know that Microsoft Teams, Skype, Google Duo, Facebook Portal, Echo Show. There's all kinds of ways that you can do that. I think it'll be interesting to see where Zoom takes this. The situation is bad enough, though, that even the FBI is warning the public to watch out for Zoom chat hijackers. So, and especially with SpaceX or something like that, for somebody like kind of normal, everyday folks, probably not something that you're going to be super worried about. It's not something that I'm super worried about, to be just completely honest with you. I could be made an ass out of with that, to be honest with you. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But Disney to furlough non-union employees at theme parks, waives annual pass fees. Disney will furlough its non-union park employees starting on April 19th. During the furlough, employees will receive full health care benefits. Well, at least that's good. With Disney paying the cost of employees and company premiums, the entire Disney Parks experience and product segment has around 177,000 cast members. Disney declined to say how many of those employees will be affected by Thursday's announcement. It's so wild to see these pictures of like Magic Kingdom, and that's what's here is the entrance to Magic Kingdom, and it's just dead empty. It's pretty wild to see that. Pretty wild to see. And I've seen some videos shared of other kind of tourist hubs. I've seen somebody share a video of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, that's where like Dollywood's at, and some other things are close together there. Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, showing some basically videos of cruising through the streets, and there's like nobody there. It looked like a normal small town. There's nobody on the streets. It's kind of wacky. Steve Fuller, seems all platforms go through some growing pains, especially right now. I think that's where we're at, is we're stretching this stuff right to the edge. We were kind of ranting on capacity just a few minutes ago, and I think we're really pushing a lot of this stuff right to the edge of its capacity is really what we're seeing, right? I mean, it's just not designed for this level of volume, I think, is really what we're seeing. So we're really driving that stuff just because it's increased use, increased folks on the platform. You're seeing all that stuff, those problems that are this big with the current number of users they had before this. You take that magnifying glass of people now, or increased use, and put on it, and it just makes those problems huge, right? It makes those small problems massive and apparent now, right? So I think that'll be interesting, especially with Zoom and with others. Zoom's kind of the one that's getting called out right now with all the stuff that's going on. But I think it'll be interesting to see how they grow, how they respond, if they do, or if they fall flat on their face and go away. That's their options, right? I mean, they'll fall on their face and someone else will pick it up and say, we can do this a lot better, and we won't sell all your information to Facebook, when we won't have all this problem with Zoom hijackers and Zoom bombing and all this kind of wild stuff. So it's really up to them to see where things go. That's really the biggest thing. They'll really determine what their future is and how they respond to the current issues that they face. How are things going on in your world? I hope things are going great for you. Again, you can always text us, 480-877-0155. Easy way to get a hold of us. You can also call us, 480-712-5219. That's also a pretty good way to get a hold of us. We'll see if we can patch you in, see how that works. That rings right here, as we said, to the luxurious Hop Nerd Studios. 480-877-0155 for text, 480-712-5219 for calls. Again, it rings right here to this beautiful Hop Nerd Studios. One day we'll do a tour. I think we'll plan that for one of these streams when we feel like it. I don't know when that'll be. It's just when I run out of stuff to talk about. When I need something to talk about. There you go. That'll be a really good one for us, right? We'll have something else to talk about. But yeah, interesting to see a lot of the stuff happening with Disney. A lot of the furloughs happening with a lot of other companies. Okay, well, here we go. We're getting into some actual news now. Tiger King star Joe Exotic reveals who he would like to portray him in a Hollywood movie. So let's see if I can. He would like Brad Pitt or David Spade. So I'm going to have to lean in here and say I think David Spade would make a really, really great. And when I was sharing with you, let me just pause here for a second. When I was sharing with you the David Spade stuff earlier, I can't remember what his show is called. He did a lot of interviews with the folks from Tiger King. I didn't realize that Joe Exotic had actually called him out as one of the two. That seems like a really kind of two far apart choices. Brad Pitt, David Spade, one of the two. Yeah, kind of sort of the same, right? But so I don't know. It's wild. It's pretty wild. But I could totally see David Spade playing that. I think you break out kind of the Joe Dirt. You break out some of the Joe Dirt stuff. The same Joe Dirt hair. Kind of trim it up. Give it a little bit more tease. Right. Bleach that bad boy out. Put a little curl in the back. Throw in a bunch of fake piercings and kind of stretched out piercings. Make him real sun damaged tan. Kind of leathery tan. And you got David Spade's going to look just like Joe Exotic. Fight me. That he would make an excellent Joe Exotic. So I think Joe Exotic got it right. I think maybe not so much on the Brad Pitt thing on his first choice, but choice 2 for sure. I mean, yeah, he's got it. That would work perfectly. I think that would work absolutely perfectly. Tom Brady has arrived in Tampa Bay, moving into Derek Jeter's mansion. The 30,000 square foot waterfront home on Davis Islands will be the new residence for the Bucs quarterback. And browsing at the picture here, oh, holy cow. Yeah, you can tell that was Derek Jeter's house. It's pretty wild. So kind of cool. Good for him. I don't know what you do with 30,000 square feet. That's just me. I have no clue. What the heck do you do with 30,000 square feet? I would tell you the Hop Nerd Studio, I guess, would be a lot bigger. To have like 6 of them in the house, I guess. But pretty wild stuff. Remains of 90 million-year-old rainforest discovered under Antarctic ice. That's pretty interesting. Fossil traces of an ancient rainforest were just unearthed in West Antarctica. About 90 million years ago, West Antarctica was home of a thriving temperate rainforest. According to fossil roots, pollen, and spores recently discovered there, a new study finds the world was a different place back then during the middle of the Cretaceous period, 145 million to 65 million years ago, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, etc. And I just kind of lost the article. It just kind of stopped and froze on me. So that's pretty cool stuff. I think that's neat. Oh, man. My phone just totally went bonkers on me. But pretty cool stuff, right? I think that's cool. It kind of gets into that example where we see it. It's kind of like the thing, the plot in many of these kind of apocalyptic movies, right? We get into the Antarctic, we dig deep enough, we find the pollen, and then we find the super bug that's been hidden and frozen away in time. And then next thing you know, boom. We have this, but on a much grander scale, right? We finally get the zombies everyone has been so patiently waiting for. And that's where we're at. But pretty interesting stuff. Seems like a pretty interesting discovery to me. What's going on in your world? Always, I'm following along in the comments here. Thank you for continuing to come hang out with us. This thing is just awesome. I love doing this thing every time I get the chance. We've been doing this thing every single day for about 10 plus days now. Again, you have several options in how you can watch us. You can head over to the hopnerd.tv. That's www.thehopnerd.tv, and you can watch us there. You can watch us on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's something that I'm working on growing and working on building. Always trying to add new video content there. So I'm really trying to devote. I'm in a video mood right now. I'm in a live stream of video mood. So as most of you know, this kind of fluctuates with what I'm enjoying doing at the time. If I'm enjoying writing articles, guess what? You're going to get a bunch of articles. If I'm enjoying doing videos, you're going to get a bunch of videos. You're always going to get the podcast, and you're always going to get the live stream. But all the other kind of stuff that goes along with that is all determined on what I feel like at the time. So please make sure you go follow along with that. Hit the bell, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit whatever you do on all those freaking things. Whatever. Make sure we get to hang out more often. Make sure you do that. Head over to LinkedIn. Make sure you like the Hop Nerd LinkedIn page. That's just under the Hop Nerd. Like my personal page, because that's where I publish most content, honestly, is right there. I spend a lot of time on that LinkedIn page talking to folks and adding a bunch of content and stuff like that. So follow along there. Again, Facebook, I'm on all that junk, so please make sure you come hang out with us. Let's dive into today's famous birthdays and see if there's any cool people out there on today. What is today anyways? Holy crap, I don't even remember. That's pretty bad. It is Thursday, April 2nd. There you go. That works. I got to look because all my days run together, to be quite honest with you. Today would have been Nipsey Hussle's birthday, R.I.P. Who else do we have out there that looks kind of cool? They lump in all of these kind of social media folks, and I have no clue who most of them are. Other than the stuff that we do, the stuff that we do with the Hop Nerd stuff, the stuff that I do on LinkedIn, other than this kind of contributing social media and creating content and stuff, I don't just go cruise on social media too much. That's just not what I do anymore. I've really tried to disconnect from that, and really my life has been better for it. So as much as I like you following along, and I'm not encouraging you to go away, I'm not seeing a lot of cool famous birthdays today. April 2nd must have not been that cool. Either that or this website just sucks. The website shall remain nameless. I'm not seeing anything that's really stepping out. So let's see what's going on this day in history. And I get to say it like that while I type it. It kind of helps me kind of direct my attention and speak at the same time. Well, that didn't work because I'm a terrible typer. Okay, on this day in, let me sound it out, history. And I still typed it wrong. History. There we go. My thumbs just can't keep up. So let's see what's going on this day in history. Pope John Paul II dies April 2nd, 2005. Pope John Paul II, history's most well-traveled pope and the first non-Italian to hold a position since the 16th century, dies at his home in the Vatican. 6 days later, 2 million people packed the Vatican City for his funeral, said to be the biggest funeral in history. So that's pretty interesting stuff. I remember that. I think we could probably, most of us have been around, I guess, that weren't tiny wee babies in 2005 will remember that. I remember watching the whole smoke and all the stuff that happens with it. I'm not Catholic, so I don't know. Don't know what any of that stuff means. But it was neat to watch, right? It was neat to watch kind of the stuff that happened and all the kind of procedural stuff that they kind of go through in that process. Let's see what else is going on. Let me scroll through all the spam that's on, even on reputable websites. They're just crammed full of flipping spam anymore, huh? 1917, Jeannette Rankin, the first woman elected to U.S. Congress, assumes office. 1513, Ponce de Leon claims Florida for Spain in 1513. In 1982, Argentina invades the Falklands. 1719, President Wilson asks for a declaration of war. That is World War I. See if we have anything else going on. 1917, Where is my mind today? 1979. That's a little bit of a difference between 1917 and 1979. Anthrax poisoning killed 62 in Russia. On this day in 1992, mob boss John Gotti was convicted of murder. And that's a wrap, at least as far as this pretty reputable history organization goes for on this day in history. Pretty interesting day in history. Not a lot of famous birthdays, but a lot of stuff happening on April 2nd, huh? Guess everybody had a really good April Fool's Day, and then April 2nd, they're like, okay, back to reality. Let's make some stuff happen. But yeah, that's pretty wild stuff. Or at least a lot of stuff jammed into one day. See what we got happening over here. We had mentioned this, but the government's works to begin dispersing loans and payments amid record unemployment. We said that earlier, that there was people were starting to dispense, or the government was starting to dispense their checks. It said that some folks would have to wait up to like 30-ish days, 30-plus days. Loan programs are also getting underway. Forgivable small business loans and other assistance will also be available as soon as practical, the article says. The government's basically citing this as something they've never done before. There's a lot of arguments saying that this is something they shouldn't be doing anyways, but we'll see how everything plays out. It's just an odd thing that the government takes your money from you and then gives it back to you and asks you to thank them for them giving it back to you. I don't know. It seems kind of wacky to me. It seems like they just shouldn't take it in the first place. You want a really good stimulus package. How about you just don't have an income tax? That seems like a pretty good stimulus package to me. We could get into the whole taxation as theft thing here, but I'll leave some of my political colors to the side for now. Anyways, how are things going for you? Shoot us a text, 480-877-0155. Give us a call, 480-712-5219. I always love having this conversation with you. I always enjoy coming down here and hanging out and getting to do this. This is just awesome. I can't complain. It's awesome. This is my most favorite part of my day, is getting on this live stream. You can ask my family. I mean, you can ask Jarrell. You can even ask Avery. Avery loves this thing. She loves hanging out with us and doing this thing. So it's really fun. We just enjoy coming down here doing this. Again, we've been trying to do it most days just because it's for my sanity's sake, and hopefully it's helping with your sanity just a little bit as we continue to do this. I'm going to keep going for just a little bit, and then we'll hop off here. Today's Thursday, right? So tomorrow's our normal Friday show, or Friday late show. So if you think I'm wild now, usually Fridays I get to really let loose. It's later. I don't know. I just feel like I can say more because it's 8 p.m. here. 8, 9, 10, 11, right? 11 back east, is that right? So it's 8 p.m. here, and it's 11 back east, and it's just late enough to where I feel like I can maybe drop a little bit more profanity. We can talk about stuff that's a little crazier. It happens. It happens. I don't advertise to be a PG show, and I'm not going to be a PG show. How about that? Just try to keep it clean enough to where I don't get into too much trouble, I guess. I like to walk the razor's edge right there between in a lot of trouble and just enough. It's just finding the right amount of trouble, I guess, to get into. So make sure you join us. We're going to keep doing this thing every day. I really think until we start to come out of some of this, as long as I can either broadcast from here, I can broadcast from home too. I just enjoy this more. This is just my more favoritist way to broadcast, is just here, just because it's the awesome Hop Nerd Studios. I just really like it. It's a lot of fun to broadcast here. I think I enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed all this kind of wacky stuff that I collect, and all the kind of fun, flashy, blinky lights, all the kind of stuff I like to put up here. Let's hear. We'll go a little wide. You can see all of it a little bit. What do you think? What do you think about the new lights? That's what I was doing earlier. So I was playing with these, and that's what I'm playing with in my hand. I'm kind of trying to tinker with these things a little bit to see what they actually do. So if I give you too much of a light show, I apologize. But I think they're pretty wild and cool, right? I always like to, and I've got some stuff over here on the other side, and I can't really spin around. You can see kind of this black curtain here. We kind of ran most of the perimeter of the room in curtain because we did a bunch of soundproofing stuff underneath and a couple other things. Just because that way we don't annoy our neighbors and they don't annoy us, and it looks a little more professional than just slamming a bunch of rugs on the wall and stuff like that, like I'm normally used to when it comes to containing sound. But on the Late Show, at least you'll get to see the curtains light up and all this kind of stuff happens pretty cool back here. I can't really show you too much now because we still got a bunch of light that comes through these stage curtains a little bit. But pretty cool stuff. So I'm sitting here and I'm playing with the lights. If you see me fiddling with stuff, I'm trying to see what they really look like. There we go. Look at that. Nice and red. How cool. Look at that. Kind of getting purplish pink. There we go. That's kind of hop nerd colors, right? I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Look at that. I like it. I like it a lot. I can't complain about it. I like it a ton. I think it's kind of cool. Again, how are things going in your neck of the woods? Feel free, jump over, give us a call, leave us a comment, shoot us an email, all that kind of stuff. Here's that handy dandy call me number, 480-712-5219. You can give us a call. We'll see how that works out. You can also shoot us a text. That's a really easy way to get hold of us, 480-877-0155. It comes right here to my handy dandy cell phone, and we can have a conversation that way. Or you can jump into the comments, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We've been having some pretty great conversations. You know, the main podcast, we mostly talk about safety, human and organizational performance, business stuff, leadership stuff, management stuff. And I know that most folks out there find that super useful. And we talk about life stuff there too. The live streams, I get to get a little more loose, a little more out there. We can talk about whatever the heck you want to talk about. I'm good with it. I like it. I just like hanging out and talking with people, and especially you people, because you're my favorite people. That's hopefully that's saying something. But I love having these conversations with you. I hope things are going good for you wherever you're at. Again, things here in Phoenix are going pretty okay. Traffic's super low, that's good. Most folks are staying home. Getting a text here, so but most folks are staying home, so that's good. It seems like local businesses are doing somewhat okay, so that's good. I will tell you, this is your go help part for today. I keep sharing with you stuff, asking you to go help. There's a lot of small restaurants out there that need your help. And you know the ones I'm talking about. You know the mom and pop spots that you go to that are amazing and you don't want to see go out of business. And the way that you help them is by continuing to frequent their establishment, hopefully in a takeout capacity right now, but by directing your business in that direction. So if there's places out there that you love, that you like, you like it, love it, you got to have it, you might want to order something from them. You might want to order a couple extra things from them. That might be pretty good. I noticed that here in Phoenix, there's a couple spots that we kind of go to that are kind of smaller. They're not these kind of massive chain restaurants. I can't stand chain restaurants. I just can't. Okay, I just don't like them. I've not enjoyed them really at all ever. So if you have, I was kind of browsing around. That's what I was looking at right now. I was kind of looking around at different restaurants in the area just to see who was open, because now that I'm talking about restaurants, I'm starting to get a little hungry. So I'm looking to see what's out there right now. But we had stopped by a restaurant the other day, and it's probably a place that we're going to frequent probably quite a bit more, because it was wacky, because we forget that people are at all stages of their lives, all stages of their business when this stuff kind of happened. I think that's an important thing to remember. We had just moved in here to the Hop Nerd Studios, right? We had just moved in here when all this kind of happened, and we're like, holy crap, hopefully we can get to the studios. Hopefully we didn't just move in and get everything set up there, and now we should have been broadcasting from home because now we can't get there. So it was pretty wild, but fortunately things have worked out pretty good for us so far. But folks are in just different places in their life right now, different places in their business. Where I'm going with that is we went to an amazing restaurant that has tons of potential. They had opened. We had swung by this last weekend after we went to do groceries. So this last Saturday. So this has been going on for a couple weeks now, right? We had swung by because it was on our way home, and just pick up food and go. And just speaking with the folks as we were kind of picking up the food, we were good and distanced, and they were all shut down and all sanitized, and they had a really good kind of system going on there. But they're like, yeah, we opened like a few days before this hit, like before it really hit. And then so we literally had our grand opening, and we were packed. And then like a couple days later, Arizona declared the whole non-essential stuff. You can't have folks in the dining room. You can't. And we're like, holy crap, we just opened our business. And it was good. It was a good spot. It was like a Filipino restaurant that had just opened here in Phoenix. And so I was craving some halo halo, so we kind of swung by and picked up some food and some other stuff, and we got a good chunk of food, some halo halo and some other stuff, and went home. But it was just eye opening to me because I hadn't thought about it from that perspective. There's folks out there that just opened restaurants. These folks had just opened a restaurant a couple days before Arizona's like, sorry, takeout only, lock your doors. You can't have people in your dining rooms. If you do, we're going to take you to jail, type of thing. We're going to revoke your business license. So reaching out to those folks, if you're going out and eating, directing your business to those places that could use it is probably not a bad thing. That's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing. We were talking about the other day. We're like, we need to order some more food from those folks. It was good. They were super nice, amazing people. Food was amazing. The whole thing was amazing. And I'm like, I can't wait till we're out of this and get to see them at like their full power. I just hope that they survive it. And that's really what I'm ranting about, I guess, is telling you is that let's help those folks out there that we like and love and got to have more of their products and services. Let's help them survive it by pointing dollars in their direction, right? Vote with your wallets, right? Spend money where stuff is good, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go spend some money on what they're selling. I'm going to go spend some more money on their food, just because it's awesome. So think about those people. Think about what's going on there. I noticed I shared with you the other day that one of the local music establishments here, a place that's near and dear to my heart, a place that I love going to, my most favorite place in Phoenix to go watch a concert. And if you do not know about the Crescent Ballroom in Phoenix, Arizona, you should go down there. If you're ever in Phoenix, you should catch a concert there. It's awesome. It's just awesome. Okay, it's just an amazing room. It's small but not too small, right? It's perfect. It's kind of long and skinny, and so you feel like you're always on top of the band, whatever band you're seeing. The last time we were there, I had the opportunity to introduce Jarrell to Tokyo Police Club, so that'll give you a little glimpse into my taste of music. But I had the opportunity to go down there, and actually we got to watch them. It was awesome. The band hung out after. It's just a nice little small, intimate venue. It was really fun because after the show is over, it's kind of like little tiny bar, like restaurant-ish, and it's not really a restaurant, it's more just bar food. It's a small bar, and then it goes into the main room. And when I say small bar, it's not much bigger than the space that we're in right now. And then a little tiny stage in the corner, and they do karaoke there. So we were down there after the show, and the band comes out, and they're doing karaoke, and it's awesome because it's not just karaoke, it's drag queen karaoke, and it's us and some folks from Tokyo Police Club and a couple other folks that hung around afterwards, and a bunch of drag queens doing drag queen karaoke, again with Tokyo plus Tokyo Police Club. So it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for us, at least. But what I'm saying is these places are awesome, right? And these places are hurting right now. A concert venue is hurting right now. And I'd shared with you yesterday, and what kind of leads me down this path is I'd shared with you this yesterday when we were talking, that Jimmy Eat World had actually posted an acoustic concert there. Just empty room. They just got on stage and played some acoustic stuff, and basically to benefit the Crescent Ballroom staff. There's a GoFundMe out there. If you just go search Jimmy Eat World Crescent Ballroom on YouTube, you're going to find the video and you'll find the link to the GoFundMe. And again, that's a place that I'm going to direct some fundage to, even if it's just $1 or $2, just whatever we can afford, to help those folks just because they're hurting right now. So again, I'm going to continue to drive this same message. It's a time for helping, not hiding, right? You can help without physically going out and exposing yourself to a dangerous situation. You can help, right? There's ways out there that you can help, whether it's directing some business towards some folks that need it. That's a good way to help. Whether it's contributing a little bit to a GoFundMe for some folks that need it. That's a good way to help. Calling your neighbors, calling your family, calling your friends, asking them if they have what they need, trying to help them, just checking on them, saying, hey, I care about you. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. How are you doing? Is there anything I could do for you? That's helping. Hiding is sticking your head in the sand and pretend like none of this is going on. And that's what you want to avoid. Right? And I get it. I get that. It's a wacky time that we live in. Things are kind of wild, and it's really seductive, right? It really lures us in. It would be nice to stick our head in the sands and just pretend that somebody else will take care of all this stuff. Everything will be fine. But it's really up to us coming together and supporting those businesses, supporting each other, looking out for our family, looking out for our own, to make sure that everything does come out fine. So again, that's always going to be my challenge to you, right? I want you to be prepared and not panicked. So make sure you got the stuff that you need, right? Make sure you've got some stuff squirreled away, but not too much, right? Don't be a hoarder. Don't be that asshole that goes out and buys a pallet of toilet paper. I'm sorry. There's only one thing that I can say is that if you go buy all the toilet paper and the grandma down the street can't get toilet paper, you're an asshole. Just plain and simple. Throw rocks at those people. Do that at your own decision, at your own risk. But I'll tell you, they probably deserve it. But so don't be that person. Be prepared, but don't panic, and always be looking for ways to help. That's really how we get through this thing. That's really it. That's really the biggest stuff that I can tell you, and that's why I tell you that exact same message every single time that we talk, because it's super duper important to me. Right? It's super duper important to me. I think we need to also probably add on to that we probably need to be kind to each other, because I see a lot of people being assholes, right? I see a lot of people that are really kind of uptight and tense and scared and angry right now, and that's not good either, right? You have scared people and things don't end well, right? You have scared, mad, maybe sprinkling some stupid, and things don't end things don't end well, as we've continued to share. So I encourage you to be nice to each other, please. Again, help, don't hide, right? You can stay distant, you can isolate yourself, you can be away from the world and still help. And be prepared, not panic. So that's again going to be my soapbox for you for today. How are things going for you? I'm getting ready to sign off here in just a minute. I'm going to go home. I'm going to watch some Game of Thrones. I'm going to go veg out on some Netflix. I'm going to go hang out. I'm going to go see my guy. I haven't seen him all day, so I'm going to go do that. That's going to be fun. I hope things are going well for you wherever you're at, whatever part of the woods you are in. Again, things are going pretty good here in the Phoenix area. Nothing that I can really complain about. We have food. We have shelter. We have electricity. And I'm very thankful to a lot of those folks out there, to all those folks out there that are continuing to provide those essential things. I work with those folks that provide some of those essential services just about every single day. And they are awesome, right? That's all you can say about them. They're absolutely awesome. So, again, thank those folks. If you have the opportunity to, thank those folks. I hope things are going extremely well for you. I hope things continue to go well for you. I want to thank you for always thank you for tuning in and leaving comments and all that kind of stuff. This is not possible without you. I always recognize that and appreciate your time. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your input. We're going to get ready to dive off of here in just a second. We'll start wrapping up. But before we do, I had received a comment right as I was signing off yesterday from Jason Belongi. And we were talking about PPE and ranting about respirators and stuff like that. And his comment was thoughts on working an essential employee or essential job, but the company doesn't supply proper PPE. And I guess the question would be really what PPE, right? What are you looking for? If it's something where you're being truly exposed to something, if there truly is a hazard, I think that we should always kind of remember, and I've heard some folks say otherwise, that the hierarchy of control has been spun on its head, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I just don't think that we really prepared in the fashion to where we could effectively use the hierarchy of controls. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the hierarchy of controls, you should go Google that. You should go take a look at that. But PPE still should be our last line of resort. There's their last line of defense. There's a lot of other stuff that we can do, and then you can couple that with PPE. If it's one of those situations where you really need the PPE and they're not providing it, you have a personal decision to make there, really. And that I don't know how else to spin that. I think those companies are going to pay a price later for that. I really believe that. I've seen a lot of stuff going around on LinkedIn and a lot of thoughts and opinions on that. People talking about, the way that employers respond to this crisis is really going to paint a picture, or it's really going to be their image for a very, very long time to come, if not for forever. Probably at least our lifetimes, right? Those companies that are being shitheads and saying, no, everyone shall come to work even if you can work from home. People remember. We remember. Your customers will remember. I promise. They will. They'll remember. When this is over, they're not going to look at you going, ha, look how well they did. They're going to look at you and go, that guy was a shithead. That's what they're going to say. Company XYZ was a shithead. That's what they're going to say. And you're going to lose customers, and you're going to lose business, and you're going to lose reputation. Those companies out there that are being shitheads, and that's the only way that I can put it, people are going to recognize them as shitheads for decades to come. They're going to look at the way they responded to this. They're going to look at the way that they either cared for their employees, loved and took care of their employees, or didn't. And people are going to remember that. So good luck for you shitty companies out there that aren't doing the right things. Good luck, because I have a really good feeling that you're going to need it. There's a lot of great companies out there. I'm very fortunate. I'll sing this to the rooftops. I don't go into a lot of detail about my day job, and I won't. I won't. That shall remain nameless. For folks out there that really want to dig and find, you can find out my day job. That's with anybody. But I am so proud of the company that I work for. I cannot say that enough. I'm so proud of the company that I work for the way that they respond to this and the way that they treat their employees. That's all I can say. There's companies out there that don't. And again, I know that there's going to be a lot of reputations made and a lot of reputations ruined by the way companies are responding to this thing. And again, I'm very fortunate, very blessed to work for an organization that really cares a lot about their employees. And that's amazing. That's amazing. Not all of us can say that. But circling back to that question, that's really what I would say, is that you probably have to, I would raise the concern. I would let them know why, right? Hear them out. They might have a good reason. There might be other controls. There might be something else that they're doing. I don't know. I don't know the exact situation. Feel free, shoot me a text, give me a call. We can talk about it. But again, I think in those situations, I've had to make that determination before in the past elsewhere where I've worked and go, you know what? We just don't align, right? We're not going to, and I've left and gone elsewhere to folks that better align with my morals and ethics. So that's a hard decision, and especially in the times that we're in right now, that might not, I don't know. I can't really advise or guide you on that. I can just give you my opinion, and my opinion is if you truly need that PPE and they're just clearly denying it to you, that's one thing. I will say though that I have spent a good chunk of my days this week trying to find supplies. So if it's according to what you're looking for, all organizations are really having to evaluate, get innovative with ways to protect their employees. I've seen a lot of innovation and a lot of invention over the past little bit, just because there's just nothing out there. Go try to find respiratory protection right now. You can't find it. You really can't find it, right? That's what. So the hospitals don't have it. Industry doesn't have it. You just can't find it right now. And what little supplies that we do have are being directed to healthcare providers, and that's probably the right place for them to go, right? So that's it's hard. It's a hard thing to do, just because the amount of folks that need it at the front lines of this thing, most of it being directed there. So. Other things like Tyvek suits, right? The little white paper suits and all the kind of other stuff like that. Super hard to find right now. So there's a lot of stuff, even like exam gloves, nitrile gloves and stuff like that are getting hard to find. So it might not be that they're just refusing to provide it to you. I would communicate with them. I think that would be probably the best course, is to talk to them first, find out what's going on, because hopefully they'll give you a straight answer. And hopefully that you can come up with some other options there, or they can help you come up with some other options to protect you, because it's getting hard to find that stuff if you can at all, right? So again, if you doubt what I'm telling you, just go Google N95 respirator, go Google P100, go Google all that kind of stuff, and just try to find one. Try to find anywhere that has one in stock, much less when you're an organization you're looking to order 1,000. Right, so you just can't find that stuff right now. So again, it's really dependent upon the real situation. I don't know. Again, feel free. You can shoot me a text, 480-877-0155. You can call me, 480-712-5219. We can talk about it, all that kind of stuff. But I seen that as I was leaving yesterday, and good thing I almost forgot it today. I didn't want to forget. I was like, "Ooh, crap! I definitely want to talk about this." So just something to consider, something to take a look at. But again, I think I would start with talking to them. I'd be like, "Listen, I feel like I need this, and here's why." And then hear their side. Again, there might be a really valid reason of, "Hey, we've been trying, we can't get our hands on anything." And then you can start down that conversation of, okay, let's figure out another way to protect me, because I still need to be protected from this stuff, right? I just can't, just because you can't get it doesn't mean I can just go lick the table, right? We need to figure out a way to protect me. So, and if you have a pretty decent employer, they're going to jump right into that conversation, and they're going to help you be innovative. Right, I think if you can offer some innovation there, they're going to be super responsive to that too, which is probably pretty cool. Again, how are things going for you? 480-712-5219, 480-877-0155. Now's your chance. I'm getting ready to sign off. I'm getting ready to get out of here. I'm going to go home. I'm getting hangry. I want to go lay down and watch some Game of Thrones. I want to do all that kind of sort of fun stuff. That's what I'm going to do tonight. What are you going to do tonight? Hopefully it's something cool, and hopefully it's not something out in the town, right? Stay home. Stay home. Please, pretty please, stay home. It's a really good thing to do right now. Hang out at home, watch some live streams, binge some Netflix, all that kind of stuff. That's probably real fun right now, and the safest and probably smartest thing to do. I'm getting ready to get out of here, though. Please head over to the website, www.thehopnerd.com. If you want to tune in to the live streams directly, you can do that over at thehopnerd.tv. So www.thehopnerd.tv. We have our live shows, our main live shows. These are kind of extras. Our real schedule is every Wednesday at 5 p.m., every Friday at 8 p.m. until whenever we feel like it. All times are in Arizona time because that's where I live. So that's a few hours ahead for you on the East Coast, and maybe a little different around the world or around the globe or here in the U.S. It's probably going to be a little different for you. Arizona's weird and wacky, and we don't observe daylight saving time, so that's great for me. The rest of the world should get on board with that. It's super cool. Hey, it's awesome. It's cool. So it's really cool to not have daylight savings time. You don't have to worry about adjusting your clocks or dealing with any of that other stupid crap. So I don't have that problem because I live in Arizona. So either the rest of the world should do that, because I'm not encouraging everyone to move to Arizona. I like it just how it is. You can stay right where you're at. I love you. I like you, but you need to stay there. I like Arizona how it is. But again, I hope things are going well for you. I hope things continue to go great for you wherever you find yourself in the world. Before we go, remember, again, let me pull these back up here because I can't remember either. So I've got to pull it up and actually look at it so I can tell you the numbers, because I don't have them memorized yet. Sorry. But when we're not on the air, you can still call these numbers. You can text these numbers. You can leave us stuff in the comments. If you're watching this after the fact, go ahead and leave me a comment. You can do that. You can totally do that. You can send me a text even if you're watching this after the fact. Leave me your input. Leave me your story. Leave me your questions. Something you want me to bring up on the air. You want to shoot me a picture and say, hey, here's a cool article. Talk about this. Hey, here's something. Let's talk about that. Hey, here's this or that, or here's my story, or here's how things look in my neck of the woods. You can do that in the comments right here. You can send that to my email, sam@thehopnerd.com or thehopnerd@gmail.com. You can use either of these handy dandy numbers and do that. If you call and leave me a voicemail, that's kind of cool. And then I can play it right here, and it's all kind of cool. People can hear your beautiful voice instead of this weird, wacky, and wonky mixture of Arizonan, Phoenician, Southwestern, redneck, Appalachian, whatever this has become. I've traveled all over the country over my life so far, so I've got a little mix of everything. So most of the time people are like, you're from Texas, aren't you? I'm from Appalachia, not Texas. Spent a little bit of time there. I don't think I was there enough to pick up the accent, but that's what I get accused of more often than not, and I'll take it. Texas is fun. Texas is cool. All my Texas friends out there, I love you. I like you. You're awesome. I love your state. Texas would be on the list if I ever decided to leave the amazing Phoenix, Arizona. There's a short list. There's like 3 spots, and there's a city in Texas as one of those spots. So I like Texas. Texas is fun. I like guns though a lot too. So me and Texas get along pretty good. One reason why me and Arizona get along pretty good too, though. But I'm getting ready to get out of here. Thank you for continuing to tune in. Thank you for continuing to hang out. Again, if we're offline, if you're watching this after the fact, you can still jump in the comments. We'll talk about it on tomorrow's live stream. You can send us a text, give us a call, leave us a voicemail, that kind of stuff I just ranted on about. Make sure you follow along on all things social media. Make sure you head over to www.thehopnerd.com. If you want to watch this live stream on our main site, you can go to www.thehopnerd.tv, and you can watch it right there, which is kind of super cool too, right? I like it. I think it's cool. Again, make sure you follow along on the YouTube channel. That's a really easy way to watch the live streams too. Most of you tune in on Facebook, I found, but if you want to go subscribe to our YouTube channel, I would really appreciate that quite a bit. Trying to grow that YouTube channel, really trying to put in some value stuff there for you, and really trying to put in some fun stuff, some funny stuff, some value. At some point, we'll probably get into some other things in and around, especially in this weird world that we're living in. Maybe some stuff around. I keep having folks ask me for online education around human and organizational performance. So maybe we even try to give away some stuff there for free. Maybe some mini Hop Nerd classes and stuff like that. Some of the stuff that we offer in person. Maybe we'll start just giving it away on YouTube. That would be fun. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. But that's all I've got for you today. Again, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for allowing me to be your tour guide to the apocalypse. Everybody take in these beautiful lights, right? These beautiful lights here before we hang up. I can't really spin around and show you my other ones. Let me see. Maybe, can you catch it from that angle? I don't think you can you? I didn't notice it. You can see a little bit of them. See that kind of lights coming up here? At night, those are going to be very, very good looking. Maybe I can play with them here just a little bit. I think I'm just adjusting the ones behind me, huh? No, there we go. They're doing something. They don't link very well because I don't have them truly like linked. This is me just being a nerd and playing around before I hang up. See what the ones behind me look like now. Now these look kind of wacky. There we go. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I have to show these things off. I like them. I think they're cool. Let's see. Where can I take these? Can I take these back to where they were? Because I liked the. Maybe I need to go down. I don't know where I went. I think I screwed them up. I screwed them up, didn't I? Here I am, trying to be all cool and screwing up the lights. I'll play with them later. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just showing off my new toys. I think they're cool. You probably don't think they're cool at all. Hopefully you do. But if you come across this video and you like it, please share it, please like it, please comment and all that kind of fun stuff. Follow along, like I said, like our stuff on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. That's all I've got. This is Sam Goodwin, the Hop Nerd. Thank you for allowing me to be your tour guide to the apocalypse. I will be back doing my duty tomorrow at our normal Friday show time, which will be 8 p.m. Arizona. So it's a little later for you if you're on the East Coast, and I think it's the same time if you're in California. So 8 p.m. Arizona, and we will do this again. This is Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, signing off. Bye, everybody. Bye.